I searched the world with open hands for meaning, love, and clarity. But all along the path I walked, what I tried to find was me. I looked for signs in strangers' eyes, in distant hills and morning skies. I begged the stars to speak my name and free me from the blame. I thought the answer lay ahead in books unread or tears I shed. But every time I turned the key, it only led to me. What I tried to find was me, behind the doubt, beneath the plea. No treasure chest, no sacred text could show me how to be. It wasn't lost in time or place. It wore my voice, it showed my face. And when I stopped and let it be, what I tried to find me. I dressed in dreams that weren't my size. I chased approval's thin disguise. But in the mirror, through the blur, I saw the truth occur. The love I craved, the peace I missed, were not some stranger I could kiss. They waited in my silent plea to come back home to me. What I tried to find was me, not who they said I had to be. Not loud or brave or better made, just whole and being free. I used to ask the world for signs, but now I read between my lines. The one who searched, the one who sees, was always simply me. And if you search through land and sea, remember this and let it be. Sometimes what we long to chase already wears our face. So now I walk with gentler pace, not lost, not wrong, not needing place. I let the world be what it'll be. What I tried to find was me. I used to ask, how do I fix this? Now I ask, can I simply feel it? I used to scan the scene for cracks, each flaw a red-eyed fact. I'd tighten every broken seam to chase a perfect dream. But now I sit with wrinkled time, with stains and tangled what rhyme. I sip my tea while dishes wait, and call this feeling great. This moment doesn't need fixing. It breathes just as it is. The mess, the pause, the way it leaves, still full of what I miss. I let it be, I let it stay, unfolding without script. This moment doesn't need fixing. time and thoughts that gently climb. I won't rewrite the breath I take or blur the sweet mistake. This moment doesn't need fixing, it simply needs my care, and that alone is all I'll give to feel that I was there. I don't need to keep adding to be worthy. I'm already here. I used to measure all I had against what others grabbed. I thought that more would make me whole, that more could fill the soul. But then one morning, half asleep, I held a breath so deep, and nothing more was in my hand. But I could understand I'm enough without more. No need to upgrade me. The sky still holds the stars the same without an extra plea. I used to chase a fuller frame, but now I see the core. I am enough just as I am, enough without more. I used to add to feel alive, new goals to just survive, a never-ending rise in height that left me out of sight. But now I water simpler roots, the kind that grow through truths. And what I hold may not be loud, but still it makes me proud. I'm enough without more, not missing, not behind. I found that quiet confidence, that lack can still be kind. I don't need trophies on the shelf to prove that I'm not poor. I am enough in this small space, enough without more. Some days I do, some days I rest, and both still feel like best. No striving just to fill the page, and this peace will never age. So if I end the day with less, I'll count it not a mess. For what I felt and what I gave are things that deeply stay. I am enough without the weight of needing to restore. I am enough, I always was enough without more. I blurred the lines to not offend, became what others would defend. But somewhere deep beneath the spin, I lost where I end and I begin. I said yes when I meant no, shrank myself so they would glow, changed my shape to fit their needs, let silence grow like tangled weeds. But even masks will start to slip and mirrors crack beneath the script. I saw a glimpse beyond the din of where I end and I begin. Where I end and I begin is where the truth lives deep within. Not in the roles I used to play, not in the words I couldn't say. It's not the praise or the pretend, but what remains when those things end. A quiet voice beneath the skin that tells me where I truly begin. I wore their dreams like second skin, tried to be perfect just to win, but every echo wore me thin, till I forgot who lived within. Now piece by piece I peel away the layers that led me astray, and softly now I breathe it in, this space where I begin. Where I end and I begin is not a place but peace within, a boundary drawn with love, not fear, that says I'm still allowed to be here. It's every time I choose to stay when I could vanish, drift away. It's roots that grow beneath the skin, declaring where I now begin. It's not rebellion, not retreat, to claim the ground beneath my feet. I'm not what breaks or what they mend, I'm where I stop and don't pretend. Where you end and you begin. I used to chase their eyes and praise, to earn a place, to find my way. But now I walk a quieter shore, with no one to impress anymore. I memorize the words to say, to keep their doubts and fears at bay. I smiled so wide it hurt to breathe, afraid they'd leave if I showed grief. But trying hard to not offend meant losing touch with who I am, till something broke inside the core, and I had no need to perform, no one to impress anymore, no scoreboard tallies to restore. I'm not a show, I'm not the fight, I'm learning how to live in light. The mirror's kind, the voice is clear. I'm not defined by praise or fear, and doesn't come in grand parade. No thunderclap, no flares displayed. It touches quietly the head of shadow's silent blade. I thought the light would rush right in like choirs of hope against my skin, but it just whispered through the blinds with warmth I failed to find. No spotlight turned my world to gold, no magic seemed to make me whole. It simply bloomed along the wall, so still, so soft, so small. And that's the way the light arrives, not like a storm, but like a sigh. It finds the cracks inside your chest and slowly teaches rest. You won't know when it fully came. You'll just feel something change, and what was once too dark to see begins to set you free. It fills the cup you thought was dry. It paints new blue into the sky. Not lovely, no, it takes its time. It flows beneath the climb, and when your tears have had their turn, it glows in places that still burn. You don't need words to make it true. It's light becoming you. And that's the way the light arrives, not with commands, but with replies. It doesn't beg, it doesn't boast, it simply knows its rise. You wake one day and breathe more slow. The weight you held begins to go. What you thought you had to chase is shining on your face. It's not a flash, it's not a fight, it's not a war between the night. It's quiet faith beneath your skin, that peace will grow within. So if the dark still feels too near, just stay, just breathe, just be sincere. You'll feel it when your soul revives. That's the way the light arrives. I thought it came with who I am, a burden passed from where it began. But every stone upon my back was something I could choose or lack. They said be strong, don't fall apart. So I held grief inside my heart. I wore the guilt, I wore the shame, like badges carved with my own name. I carried silence, carried fear, for every no I couldn't hear, and every tear I didn't cry became the weight I carried was mine, and I can set it down today. The pain I thought would never sway. It's not a cross, it's not a chain. It's something I can leave in rain. I kept it close to prove my worth. That love acquired a little hurt. I thought endurance was the key to make them stay or notice me. But now I know that hearts don't bind to broken things we leave behind. I breathe and feel it start to fall. The weight was never mine at all. The weight I chose to carry then, I don't have to hold again. I'm learning how to just release and let the silence offer peace. No longer dragging wounds like proof that I deserve a deeper truth. I step beneath a sky gone wide and walk with nothing left to hide. Some things we hold to feel control, but healing means we let them go. And strength is not in what we bear, but knowing when we've done our share. So if you're tired and can't explain why every breath still feels like strain, ask what you've chosen, not been given, and see what can be forgiven. Guitar acoustic ballad. I tried to be the storm, the flame, the one who always took the blame. But love was never meant to sway. It comes when you're soft enough to stay. They taught me how to stand alone, to guard my heart, to turn to stone. But silence cracked the walls I made and let the tenderness invade. I used to think that strength was cold, unshaken, proud, and tightly rolled. But strength can kneel and strength can pray and still be soft enough to stay. Soft enough to cry at night, to show the bruise beneath the fight, to break and not be thrown away, to bleed and still be asked to stay. Not built from power, fear, or pride, but from the peace I held inside. Now love won't run when I'm this way. I've learned to be soft enough to stay. I'll walk through years with borrowed names, each one a mask, each one a flame. But in the quiet, soft and strange, I heard the echo of my name. They called me strong, they called me sweet, they praised the lies laid at my feet. I shaped my voice to fit their sound, afraid my truth would weigh me down. But echoes don't forget their source, they call you back with quiet force. And late at night they'd call me home to places I had never known. Echoes of my real name, calling through the doubt and shame, through every label that I wore, and walls I built to be adored. They whisper not who I should be, but gently say come back to me. No more hiding in the flame, I'm answering my real name. I wore the silence like a shroud, let others speak my truth out loud. I dimmed my light to make them shine, convinced their dreams were more than mine. But echoes don't just fade away, they grow in strength when night turns gray. And in the hush of breaking dawn, I knew the name I'd never drawn. Echoes of my real name, rising soft yet not the same, each syllable a thread of gold, a stitch me back from growing cold. No more echoes made of fear, the voice I lost is drawing near. Through the ashes, through the flame, I'm standing in my real name. Not what they said, not what I played, not what I gave just to be saved, but something deeper, raw and true, the part that always knew. So if you've wandered far too long and all their names just feel so wrong, listen close, it calls the same, the echo of your real name. They told me who I had to be, and I believed so easily. But truth was never black or white, I lived in fear, not in the light. They said be strong, don't let it show, so I pretended not to know. The cracks that formed beneath my skin were lessons I held deep within. I wore their words like sacred law, ignored the tremble in my core, till every step began to scream, this life is not my dream. I'm unlearning the lies they told, the myths of worth and needing gold, the silence dressed as discipline, the shame they tied beneath my skin. key. I'm unlearning the lies they gave, the ones that taught me not to break. I'm letting go of masks and roles and writing truths into my soul. I don't need rules that cage my fire. I only need one true desire, to live a life that's truly mine, not built from borrowed lines. They shaped me with their broken tools, but I was never made for rules. Now every tear I used to hide becomes a step toward the light. So here I stand, both scarred and wise, a little raw but more alive. The mirror shows no need to try. I finally dropped the lies. I used to drown in voices loud, always reaching for the crowd. But in the hush, I found the key, the silence that saved me. I filled the space with needless noise, pretending strength, dismissing choice. I feared the stillness, feared the truth, afraid to face my younger youth. But quiet came like midnight rain and washed away the hidden pain. In echoes soft, I came to be, held gently, silently. The silence that saved me wasn't loud, but it was brave. It didn't shout or try to change me, just held the space I craved. In every breath I used to waste to seek approval, win the race. I never saw what I could be till silence rescued me. I built myself from borrowed praise, from hoping eyes and perfect days. But somewhere deep behind the bluff, I never knew I was enough. I wore the masks they like to see, smiled so they'd stay approved of me. I chased applause like it was air, convinced that meant they care. But every time the crowd would cheer, a quiet voice would still appear, asking why I always ran from being who I am. Before I knew I was enough, I broke myself to feel their love, tried to earn the right to stay by hiding all my pain away. But worth was never in their hands, not in demands or shifting sands. The truth was buried deep and tough before I knew I was enough. I feared they'd leave if I stood still, so I performed against my will. Each version of me carefully worn, left my own soul torn. But then one day I dropped the script, let silence speak through trembling lips. And in the quiet I could see the one who needed me was me. Before I knew I was enough, I thought I had to prove my love, to show I wasn't weak or small by standing 10 feet tall. But now I breathe without the fight and rest beneath my own soft light. I stop the climb, I drop the bluff, and feel that I am enough. No medals left, no race to run, just warmth beneath the morning sun. And everything I thought I'd need was always sown in me. So if you feel you're not yet whole, remember this, you've played the role. But underneath the pain and bluff, you've always been enough. I used to run from the clock, now I walk beside it. I live by numbers on the wall, each tick a warning call. I filled my days with lists and lines, afraid of falling behind. But now I rise when light feels right, not bound by morning's fight. No calendar defines my worth, just breath and open earth. Time doesn't chase me anymore, I'm not its prize or war. I walk at pace that suits my soul, not fast but full and whole. No deadline hanging on my chest, just room to learn and rest. Time doesn't chase me anymore, I've stopped needing more. I used to race through every meal as if there was no fear, but 'cause I don't know. It's just I've seen what rushing stills and learned what slow reveals. Time doesn't chase me anymore. It walks beside my core, and in that space I found my song that sings where I belong. Inside my head. I've breathed 1,000 times before, but really, like I meant it. I used to breathe just to survive. Each breath a race to stay alive, but never stop to feel the air or notice it was there. I rushed through moments, missed the grace of wind that touched my face. Too full of plans to ever see that breath could set me free. Now I'm breathing like I mean it, slow and deep, not just to get through. Each inhale is a promise that this moment can be true. I don't need to climb or chase, just feel the stillness take its place. I'm breathing like I mean it, and that's enough for now. I used to speak before I knew the weight of words I flew, but now I pause before they fall and breathe through it all. No longer just a passing act, but full and held intact. My chest expands, not just to live, but take what life will give. I'm breathing like I mean it, as if each breath could teach me peace. No longer numb, no longer tense, just letting pressure cease. In morning light and sleepless nights, I anchor softly in my rights to breathe and mean it fully, to be without a why. Not every breath needs meaning deep, but some are mine to keep. A rhythm slow, a heart that knows the beauty life bestows. So if I stop and close my eyes, I'm not just being wise, I'm living in the space I missed, in every gentle twist of air that tells me I'm alive. No need to rush or strive. I'm breathing like I mean it now, and maybe that's the vow. dries my tears, the way the light falls on the floor, and ask for nothing more. I've lived in hours, chased the hands of time like shifting sand, but now I see what goes unseen, the space where I have been. These are the moments the clock can't count, no tick, no time amount, when silence holds a sacred breath and life steps past its depth. In still cafes, in skies turned golden warmth, my fingers hold. These are the moments the clock won't see, but they live deep in me. I used to time my every move, as if I had to prove that progress meant I must not pause, or I'd forget the cause. But now I linger, let it stay, the breeze that slips away, the laugh that fades into the night, yet leaves the soul alight. These are the moments the clock can't hold, too soft, too brave, too old. A memory without a date that still opens the gate to fireflies, to quiet tears, to love that reappears. These are the moments that made me real, though time will never feel. So count your days if you must try, but know some truths pass by. They live in wind and songs unsung, in hearts forever young. And when the years blur into haze, I look around the days to find the time that shaped my soul, that clock could never hold. For deep inside, without a sound, I keep what I have found. Moments the clock can't count remain like stars in morning rain. When silence isn't empty, it becomes everything. I used to fill the air with sound, as if my voice could hold the ground. I talked to hide what I might feel, afraid of what was real. But now I sit with lips unpressed, let thoughts just drift and rest. No need to name what I can sense. Some truth are born from silence, where stillness speaks louder than all I used to say. In the hush between the moments, I hear the heart's true way. Not shouted dreams, not crowded schemes, but wisdom soft and clear, where stillness speaks louder. I finally hear not the same. Where stillness speaks louder than all, that's where I rise and fall. And in that space I truly feel what speaks when we are real. I used to try to become someone. Now I simply return. I used to try to become someone. Now I simply return. I once wore names like second skin to prove what lived within. I shaped my voice to match the crowd, but lost the softer sound. Now I rise with gentler ways, no mask to meet the days. The mirror shows a quieter flame, and still it knows my name. Softly I become myself, not loud, not anyone else, like leaves that turn without command. I move with open hands, not fixed in form, not pressed by time, just whole and undefined. I used to chase the perfect mold, be bright, be brave, be bold. But in the quiet I have learned the truth can't be earned. Now I speak with quieter tone, no script I must own, just breathe in space to slowly grow and love what I now know. Softly I become myself, no need to be someone else, no race to win, no test to pass, just roots that hold me fast. In every scar, in every grace, I find my rightful place. And all the noise I used to bear now fades like whispered air. I've built a home with open light, where I no longer fight. So if I seem to drift, not climb, it's just I've learned the rhyme of growing in a quiet bloom, not fast, but full of room. Softly I become myself, each breath a kind. I thought everything moved forward, but some of me was found in the pause. I used to chase the next, the new, each step a thing to do. days rushing past the part where I could hear my heart. Now I stop when morning breaks, let stillness fill the space, and in the quiet in between I find what I had seen. I was found in the pause, not in the plans I made, but in the moments with no aim, where silence gently stayed, in breaths between the questions asked, in time that wasn't tasked. I was found in the pause, where nothing had to last. I used to run from empty air, afraid of being bare. But in the stillness I have grown and claimed what felt like home. No need to prove, no need to climb, just sit inside my time, where waiting isn't being lost, but part of what it costs. I was found in the pause, when no one called my name, where silence held me without words and never asked for fame. In fading light and slowed down days, I saw my quiet ways. I was found in the pause, where soul begins to blaze. The world may spin, the clocks may tick, but here I choose to stick in space that others may ignore. I find a deeper door. So if I stay a moment more, it's not to close the door, it's just I've learned that who I am was waiting in the calm. I was found in the pause, not less, but something true. And now I pause on purpose to meet the clearer view. In the space between what was and will be, there lies the beauty of simply being. There's a hush between my sighs, a moment the world walks by. No plan to chase, no sound to fill, just breath and time standing still. I used to live in future tense, each choice a past defense. But now I pause between the noise and find a quieter voice. There's beauty between heartbeats, in what we almost miss, not in the thunder of the world, but in the silent kiss, in gentle eyes, in waiting skies, in stillness undefined. The beauty between heartbeats, that's where I find mine. think I had to prove each step a point to There's beauty between heartbeats, in quiet sacred ground, not measured by how fast we go, but where we lay it down in blinking stars, in fading scars, in breaths we never planned. The beauty between heartbeats, that's where I now stand. No symphony, no mighty sound, just echoes all around. A resting place between the cries, where wholeness never tried. So if I seem to close my eyes, it's not that I have left the skies, I'm just beneath the softer light that hums beyond the night. The beauty between heartbeats stays, a song without a phrase. And I have learned through standing still that this is how I heal. They thought I was quiet, I was just listening. I used to think that strength was loud, a roar above the crowd, that power came from standing tall and never letting fall. But now I've learned to speak in sighs, to rest and still be wise. The ones who whisper often see what noise will never be. Quiet is a kind of brave, the strength to bend, not crave, to hold your truth without a shout, and never force it out. In silent rooms and waiting skies, there's courage in disguise. Quiet is a kind of brave, a fire that doesn't wave. I used to rush to fill the space, afraid to lose my place. But silence taught me how to stay, and still be on my way. I've seen the storm, I've walked the rain, but soft still can remain. It takes more strength to gently feel than hide behind the steel. Quiet is a kind of brave, a truth that doesn't cave, to shout, to prove, to beg the world.